on these pristine waters of Geograph Bay. The hustle is on in Busselton, and with double points on the line, our series leader Euroflex has made a remarkable comeback.
Oh, Nick, the boat builders have done a sensational job doing major repairs on board Euroflex. They've replaced the rudder stock, the rudder blade, they've repaired the crack in the hull, and they're ready to go racing. And with the double points, like you say, they could even end up on the podium.
What an incredible comeback that would be. I spoke with Nathan Outeridge, and he said it's super important, not just for the podium, but to pay back the hard work of the boat builders. And this is where he's going to ply his trade on the crystal clear waters of Western Australia.
It's really impressive. You know, you can see the guys here still getting the vinyl and that on to do the finishing touches, but you know, Zach and Adam and all the boys here have been working hard over the last couple of days to still give us a chance to get some points. I think it should be just fine. You know, there was the big crack down the side of the hull which, you know, got fixed up. You know, the rudder stock was broken, so we have a spare rudder that the guys are just currently finished the painting on, and they're just doing all the final touches on the sanding. So I don't see us having any excuses or any reason to not perform as well as we've been performing all year. On average, you need around 25 points to get onto the podium, just based on the last few events. And if we get all racing in today and you know, we perform the way we've been performing, we should get around 30 points. So points are really close ahead of us, and you know, we have a mountain to climb, but you know, it's not out of the question that we can make the podium.
Ambitious goals there from Euroflex, still eyeing off a top 3 finish. They're on 0, they're going to need plenty to get ahead of Tech 2. What about that clean maiden pavement? Locked on scores, and ID and record point almost level as well. It was a really tight day in the absence of Euroflex yesterday. Let's take a refresher on how it panned out. On a scorching Saturday, the blazing Busselton sun soaked up the breeze, where even without his usual personnel on board, Steve Thomas still found gold at the end of Pavement's rainbow.
Great reward for Steve Thomas and the boys, given that they had that massive wipeout yesterday.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Dan and Reese would be bitterly disappointed it wasn't them, but yeah, it had to come at some point. So just we've done enough races now, finally got one on the board, so happy.
A series breakthrough for Pavement, followed up with the sprinkle of the same for Tech 2.
And she is home. Tech 2, she's checked herself. She hasn't wrecked herself. She's made it to the line, and she's got her first win in the Superfoiler.
Yeah, no, it was bloody good. It was a good day. We're happy to take away those results. You know, it was up and down all day, so you know, quite easily could have been a couple of fourths.
Record points searching for speed to go with her victory in Friday's only race.
Starts to build. He really makes money, honey.
I think we're okay.
Look at this, he's 350 metres in front already and extending. That's one good puff down that run.
But it was the heat-seeking red flyer at the front that had everyone on notice.
Tech 2's gone 2 from 2, and they close the gap to Euroflex.
There were plenty of tense moments.
Setting up the jibe close.
It's a close one, oh my goodness, and they planted it. And Pavement have to take evasive manoeuvres to get around them as well.
There's going to be a penalty there for sure.
Although ID Intranet emerged unscathed on the final skirmish of the day.
We've got a new winner here in Busselton, and Tech 2 is going to close the gate for second. And what do you know? It's Olivia Price with another third-place finish.
It was a good race as well. You know, we came in, we had a bit of an incident with Steve, a bit of a bad call from me. Thought we were going to just make it, but we just didn't. But then, you know, bounced back, caught up, and our upwind pace seems pretty good. And then in that one, our downwind pace was fairly good as well. So, yeah, it's really nice to end on a win.
Yeah, super stoked with that. I think a consistent day-to-day is what done it for us, and yeah, looking forward to it. I think it's the best we've got so far, and hopefully we can continue and finish on a high.
Clean made on the bounce here in Busselton. As we see, conditions today are looking tricky again. Jack McCartney, what is the latest?
Another stunning day in Busselton. The wind is very light. We don't have much at all, so I would say anywhere from 4 to 6 knots.
Jack, Olivia Price was a revelation yesterday on board Clean Mates, managed the conditions so expertly. Euroflex, will they be able to hit the ground running, so to speak?
Absolutely, they can hit the ground running. They're the extreme professionals. They look steely-eyed and fired up. I think they going to do their absolute utmost to end up on the podium in this event, so watch out. But I think Clean Made could be up for a win today. They've been super consistent. They're very relaxed. They're sailing the boat in a very nice downwind mode, and upwind yesterday did a great job picking the shifts, so expect some big things from the Clean Made.
Just got steerage here, okay? Yeah, and you got the car, okay?
Unreal seeing Euroflex back on the line. They'll be racing with 6 Superfoilers next. Six Superfoilers on the start line here in Busselton. Amazingly, Euroflex is one of them, our series leader, ready to pounce. Not long to go here.
2, 1. Recall pavement.
Pavement is over the line early, so they've got a penalty. They've got to do 2 complete tacks before they can start racing. Quite an expensive mistake in this light breeze. You can see the acceleration time off the line.
Yeah.
As Pavement get to work, you can see
Good comms, Has.
that already they're moving ahead.
Yeah, it's going to go right. It's a big left-hander on the front, though.
Clean Made bow forward off this start.
Straight me a little. Nice and forward, nice.
Everyone on board trying to find where the pressure is up the race course. Sometimes it comes in from close to the shore, sometimes out to sea.
It's a biggie, eh? It's going to be a swirly one, right? What do you got, Will?
Sometimes it comes from nowhere, Tess.
Coffee.
And just vanishes into thin air.
Go, boys.
Yeah, I want to be faster.
Don't we all, Olivia? We want you guys to be rocketing, but that's not the case. You've got to play to what's in front of you, address the circumstances, and set up accordingly, Tess.
How far do you want to go this way? I'm just thinking it looks soft straight ahead of us.
Speed is everything in this game, Nick. You can see any little increase in pressure doubles their boat speed.
Wait in, transition, full transition.
And can give them a huge jump on the fleet.
Ease jib.
Auto tack.
Backing. My nasal.
This is Tech 2, Luke Parkinson.
Staggerboard.
Hayden Menzies and Sam Newton had an awesome day yesterday. Jack, who's making the most of these tricky conditions?
Look at ID, they're ripping here. They're close to 20 knots, and it looks like there's 0 knots of breeze on the water. It's quite amazing. But Euroflex already in a strong position here, sailing at a bit of a higher mode. ID to leeward of them sailing faster and lower, and then the rest of the fleet to windward, not in as much wind.
Quite have us laying. Which mark are you thinking?
It's all about choosing the right mode to sail on this upwind. If you think you can foil, you want to put the bow down, lift the boat out of the water. But if the option's not there, you want to try and sail the least amount of distance towards the top marks.
Yep. Let's go a little further on.
There's not much out there for our 6 Superfoilers at the moment. Pavement's got some local knowledge on board, as does ID, Kinley Fowler. He's a native to these parts too.
You're on weight for that, Goose? Think we go any time for the mark.
2 tacks, yeah.
2 tacks, yeah.
Interesting to see Ian Jensen there going for bare feet.
Yeah, I think we're at lay though. You ready?
He's in Tom Hanks' survivor mode at the moment. Minimal clothing, maximum output. Could have something to do with weight tests. They've got to look to save any gram of weight they can right now.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. It's a lot about keeping your weight down, but you also want to be really agile in the boat in these conditions. You've got to move through the boat really softly so you don't disrupt the boat speed, because there's not a lot to work with.
Still happy, right?
I think so.
It's a big decision which top mark to round, the right or the left. You've got to commit. Are you going to sail in towards Busselton Jetty, or are you going to sail out towards the ocean?
Okay, yep, standing by.
Do a late board here. Yep.
2, 1, turning. It's almost no boards downwind, isn't it? My main sheet here.
I'll go a half board.
Or are you going to play follow the leader and just take the risk out of it altogether and not look foolish? If you go one way and get parked up, it can look pretty embarrassing.
Okay, coming away.
And what a comeback this is from Euroflex.
Just give the jib a big push out.
Nathan Outeridge and Ian Jensen, Glenn Ashby, they look like no hope of taking to the West Australian waters. Now they're leading the race.
I'm easing jib. Feel free to take it. Yeah.
And a lot of transfer of roles on board. There's a lot of emphasis on the skipper, almost doing the jib, main and steering here with the two crewmen right at the front of the boat to keep the weight forward.
That's a great shot. It looks like a shopping centre on Christmas Eve. They're all parked up next to each other.
You move any further forward, lads?
And someone at the front has forgotten their ticket. It is annoying.
Okay, tucking it.
Someone's going to crack in these conditions, Tess.
Yeah, and interestingly, we heard from Euroflex that maybe all boards out of the water.
Cutting them up. Soft everywhere. I kind of... Yeah, I think we've got to go straight here, don't we? Yeah. Weights are lowered.
Let's just keep super eyes open here at the moment.
Yeah, these guys are all sailing mode 1 on the downwind. They're trying to just sail the least amount of distance towards the bottom gate because sailing higher in this light breeze isn't going to increase your boat speed.
Just a little weight up to squash me down here, boys.
Yep, coming down now.
Cool. And can you just try and pop your jib battens as well?
There's not even enough breeze to get the sails to fill out there.
And then try ease it. Got to get that, eh? Guys, that's a big issue. I know, I'm just...
Some knot in the traveller rope. They can't ease the main sheet.
It's all happening out there, Tess. More racing after this.
Kenny, your foot is on the jib sheet. Yeah, there we go.
In.
Between your toes.
Some difficult obstacles out there on course at the moment, on board and on the water for ID Intranet there.
Okay, stand by Judd.
And this light wind really condenses the fleet. There's not much in it. Pavement have taken the lead by a small margin on the downwind with Intranet close behind.
Crap. This is crap racing. We are last, but still pretty
Things get feisty when these machines aren't foiling.
I don't think we want too much separation is what I'm thinking.
Meanwhile, the meeting of the minds on Euroflex, 24 World Championships and plenty of scheming on our series leader.
I think we go back, eh?
They're getting close to converging through the middle gate.
1, and here we go.
And Ian Jensen has the best seat in the house to watch that all unfold. He's sitting up like a school kid reading a school book.
Looks like a bit of a restart up here, lads.
We've got about another 30 seconds here, I reckon, if that. Got another 30 seconds here, if that.
There's a lot of time for the guys to communicate on board. It's not very physical in these conditions, so they've got to be smart in their sailing.
Okay, going to take that now.
Each manoeuvre is very costly, so they've got to think it through.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of the teams minimising risk. They're staying close to the rum line, to the middle of the course. They're not extending too far away from their opponents because they know any increase in pressure is going to double their boat speed and will be a game changer.
Yeah. Just going to soak below this boat. Okay, jibing here, guys. But cutting them on.
The main sails almost remind me, Nick, of a windsurfer main in these conditions with that middle boom. You can see them popping the battens on the exit of the jibe.
It's just top battens need to go on.
Yeah, Phil Robertson using his height to full advantage there.
I'm going to stay stationary here.
And we can see Pavement, the Rainbow Superfoiler, sponsored by a kids clothing company. They are enjoying it at the moment. They're out in the lead. They've got 80 metres almost on Euroflex. And in fact, ID is in second now.
We're actually in pretty nice wind here, eh?
And that's Tech 2 we were hearing, but ID has closed gauge. You can see those bottom marks come into frame.
There's plenty of pressure coming down as well, so the upwind boats will be moving pretty nicely.
It's all about picking the new pressure on the upwind. Which bottom mark are they going to round? Where's the pressure going to come from? That's going to be the deciding factor in this race.
Thinking about a jibe.
Tech 2, they might be in last.
Pretty lifted here.
They might have 300 metres between them and the front runner, but they won't give up. They were on fire yesterday and they'll burn again today.
The other way. Sailing out of it here. You guys see it? 2. Oh, big header. Hang on.
And the shimmering on the horizon.
Big header.
It's like a mirage, an oasis. Everyone's going to start hallucinating.
This pressure's going to stay with us, isn't it?
And dreaming of wind.
Right in front of us? Deep if anything. Or high behind you.
I definitely probably want to go right turn for pressure, or you're thinking left?
Normally in Perth, Nick, we get a sea breeze and there's normally little white puffy clouds, but today we've got this mirage effect, so that's a good indicator the breeze will stay light.
Almost as deep as we dare here, isn't it?
Well, it must be frustrating for these world-class athletes. It's like having Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy and Jason Day turn up to a golf course with all their gear and realise it's a putt-putt golf game.
Yeah, Nick, it's a real test of your character. If you can stay calm, you know, any frustrations are exposed easily.
Yeah, this is a jive, isn't it? To get into.
One more little puff.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to think that you're doing it tough.
Coming searching.
But really, it's the same on board all of the Superfoilers out there.
It reminds me of the Sydney to Hobart test where all you're doing is guessing. The navigators become navigassers and everyone's got an opinion on what you should be doing and everyone else's opinion is wrong.
Left turn, yeah. Yes, and no wind.
And the challenge is laid down. We can see them coming together. The racing will kick off again on the other side of this.
Bit of trav up when you get a moment.
It's like the three little pigs out there without the huffing and puffing. Three Superfoilers.
I think we're tacking straight away around
just wanting to get blown away up the course. But so far the Wolf has a cold.
I actually wonder if it's best the other way here.
Yep. I've changed my mind too, mate.
Have you?
Safety
Yeah, I agree. We're going to go the other way here.
The drives aren't costing us anything.
You've got to keep your eyes open, looking behind, and you can see those dark patches on the water, indicating more wind coming down the course.
This sucks.
Big sigh of frustration.
Well put there, Tess.
Yeah. Get some chirp going. Put some pressure on them.
They're not losing faith, even though they are a long way behind at the moment.
Good chance it'll be shortened. Okay, just starting to go a little softer at times, I think.
And the Wanji Warrior using his mental powers to maybe give a few hints to the race committee that it may be time to shorten this race. We'll see if they're listening, Tess.
Go big main, big main, big main. Got to keep a high lane here.
There's going to be convergence at the bottom mark on the left. Record point have got around, but ID and Clean Made coming in.
Coming in hot here, Tess. This could be a close one.
Yeah, I don't think Clean Made had rights on ID.
Comes hard down.
Olivia Price has got the handbrake on and she's going to need to really brake there.
Keep pushing. Can't come away. Keep pushing.
You got a penalty.
You still got to go and win that. Pass.
Penalty ID, penalty ID.
That might have been a little bit marginal, Nick. It didn't look like from here Clean Made had room on the inside. ID have been given a penalty.
No, I couldn't turn. If I kept turning, I was going to hit.
Okay, so you've got to go up and win. So did we give you room around the mark?
Well, if I kept turning, I was going to hit you.
That way you guys can move easier.
Guilty until proven innocent there for ID. They'll be furious about that one. Olivia's signed, sealed and delivered them the bad news.
I don't see any reason to attack before lay currently.
There must be a bit more pressure up the course. You can see Ian Jensen there. He's on the trapeze. And Glenn, that's the most weighed out we've seen so far in this race.
Well, with Calamity behind, we can see what's happening at the front of the race course at the moment. And the Kiwi crew's well positioned. This is the back end at the moment. Tech 2, ID and Clean Made.
Penalty clear.
ID's penalty's been cleared.
What do we think here? To get in front of pavement. Can you just change the mode on that Velocitech, champ?
Boat just steers itself.
On board Record Point, they're changing the Velocitech. Instead of reading boat speed, they want to read the wind angle that they're sailing, so changing it to a compass bearing.
Well, the distance to line has changed. Somebody has heard Euroflex's demands, Jack.
Yeah, so the race is shortened. They're going to finish it at the start-finish gate behind me. So Euroflex with a clean pair of heels again. They just picked that left gate at the bottom, saw the breeze coming down that side of the track, and I guess it's a simple case of having your head out of the boat. If I look back down the course, pavement's still at the bottom mark, and so they chose the opposite gate and are now currently sitting there in second last place. But amazing job by Euroflex after a couple of days off the water and straight back into it, and the dream team do it.
An incredible return, Jack. And plenty to like about that from Euroflex.
It's all right. We're like cruising down, laser mode, everything's good.
All smiles.
Take over and cruise to the...
Almost in cruise
It was
control.
painful, good. We were having this discussion yesterday.
Oh, no, that was way better because there was no chance of foiling.
Nathan spent some time in the commentary box yesterday. The wisdom helped.
Just try and stay nice and low there as well, Will. Nice, mate. Keep that slot nice and open.
Record Point are in second place. It's a pretty close battle between ID, Clean Made.
Wait in.
And on board Clean Made.
Like as soon as he's in the wrong, he's in the wrong. Yeah.
Still talking about the incident with ID at the bottom mark. I think, Nick, they just need to move on, focus on the upwind here. It's not easy sailing these boats in the light wind conditions. Any little detail can make a big difference to your performance.
Bow's coming down.
And it was a superstar day for the Clean Made crew yesterday. They had so many good top three finishes. They'll be looking for more of the same and potentially looking to leapfrog Record Point into second now.
Out there, jib sheet out, pull it. Yeah, nice.
A bit of an ease to reattach the flow. Bit of a speed build they need here, but it looks like they're on a nice lane into the finish and comfortably in second place. They've remained really calm during the race on board Record Point. I've been really impressed with the communication and working together to try and see where the pressure's coming from and work the different modes on board.
Nice, boys.
It was all good until Phil called Sam champ. Other than that, everything looked okay on there.
Nice one, Will. Oh, night and day, isn't it?
Yeah, so much better.
Whoa.
Setting up. 2, 1.
And Jack McCartney's with the comeback king.
Nick here with Nathan, straight back into it. You made the right decision at the bottom mark in a tricky little race. You do it again.
Yeah, it was pretty tricky. That downwind, it was all about just trying to manage that little puff, and Glennie saw a little puff right off the end of the jetty there. So we went and gave the spectators a bit of a wave and took the left turn, and the other guys who tried to get to that other mark are still trying to get there currently.
So head out of the boat is key?
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably quite nice for us to be watching the racing yesterday than being involved, because you can see all the different patterns developing, and that top mark was quite tricky trying to work out what to do, but we sort of just tried to cover the fleet, and then we found our own bit of pressure at the bottom.
It's very, very light air. I mean, is this, it's still a race. It was still competitive down the bottom there. You were jibing with pavement the whole way down. I guess the seriousness of the racing is still there, even though you've got 2 to 5 knots of pressure.
Yeah, it's obviously not what these boats are sort of designed for, and we love, racing them fast and foiling, but, we still have to make tactical decisions. There was lots of manoeuvres, it tests your light wind sailing, and Glennie had a good little line there. It's a cup of tea time, boys. Nothing's going to change for 30 seconds. Let's have a look, think about it, and that's how you get yourself back into the race. So, it was pretty calm on our boat, and, just happy to be racing today.
Does he actually call it a cup of tea time?
Yeah, he said to us before the start, it might be a cup of tea time, and I was trying to work out what he meant, but we eventually understood, and it's spot on, have a little cup of tea, have a look around, think about what you should be doing, and, you end up making really good decisions that way.
Experience pays off, Nathan.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a little bit of that on our boat, so it's important to use it when you can.
Oh, well done.
These sailors will be using all the time they can out there to figure out what the best way is to sail these boats in the light air. It's a totally different skill set to what we've seen in the earlier racing.
Can't see the pavement.
Tech 2 still racing. Jack's with our third place getter.
How was that? That was a tricky light air race. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit more stressful in the lighter wind, just trying to pick which one was going to come through. At the top, we rounded behind Euroflex and we're kind of banking on the one coming from the shore, but everyone else is getting a bit more traction down the run. But as you can see, it's never over till it's over.
I was just chatting to Nathan Outeridge and he was saying that they had cup of tea time to get their head out of the boat. Do you guys have something similar?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we are looking for Wharf Bar at the time, so they might be having cups of tea. We're looking for, just something to do. It is, the waiting game around here when you're just trying to keep the boat flat, keep the pods out of the water, and try and keep as little drag as possible.
What are the keys to, mode 1, low riding mode?
I think just trying to reduce drag, be really still in the boat, and a lot of the skippers are moving forward. I don't feel like I have as much feel in the helm, so I'm staying a little bit further back and getting Josh and Harry to move a bit further forward. So, there's a few different techniques, but we feel pretty comfortable doing that.
Double points coming up. It's going to remain pretty light, I think. What are your thoughts?
As I said, it's kind of clean-made conditions, the lighter stuff. We get to, pick some shifts and just see what happens. So looking forward to the rest of the racing. Obviously double points means that there's a lot more on the line, so bring it on.
Good luck.
Thanks, Jack.
Olivia Price targeting double points on offer across our next 2 races.
We still could have won that race, so we were in front.
Steve Thomas still licks his wounds.
Sort of like, it's annoying that we got stuck in a hole, but...
Steve Thomas staying positive as we review race 6. An amazing comeback from Euroflex, their first race of this entire regatta, and they seal it up, keeping their aspirations of another regatta win alive, ahead of Record Point and Clean Made, with ID clipping at their heels. Tech 2 is still leading this regatta ahead of Clean Made. Record Point and ID level with pavement, but it is really the story of Euroflex. They've got a 100% success rate now, and they'll be eyeing off our next couple of races. How will they fare in race 2 of the day? Stick around to find out. Some pretty awesome tricks and kicks out there in the shadow of Busselton, which is the gateway to the Margaret River. Some of the best food, wine and seafood you're ever likely to feast your eyes on. And of course, this all happens in the shadows of the historic Busselton Jetty. It's a gorgeous train ride over the creaky wooden logs, but Steve Thomas decided he'd strut his stuff down the wooden catwalk and head out and find a few delights that he's used to finding when he's chasing success for Team Pavement.
Hi, welcome to the Busselton Jetty and the Underwater Observatory.
Thank you.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Down into our Underwater Observatory. Do you know there's only 6 of these in the world? So out at the end of the jetty here, we're 1.8 kilometres out to sea. The jetty is actually the longest traditional timber pile jetty structure in the Southern Hemisphere. But the water's only 8 metres deep.
So is there much tide out here in the end of the jetty?
Do you know Busselton only has a tiny tide? It's less than a metre. It only raises to about 3/4 of the way up the window.
Oh, there's my first fish.
There's a sea sweep.
Okay.
In fact, have a look out through there. There's a big school of tailor.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and salmon as well.
It's pretty special.
It's a stunning sight, the historic Busselton Jetty. I did ask Steve Thomas if he was interested in enrolling in the Merman program, but he gave me a firm no. He's too busy racing, and Jack, you're too busy deciphering what's going on. Please, can you provide an update on the latest?
Nick, we've had a wind shift of 180 degrees, so we're now in the northwest quadrant, you can say. We've got 6 knots, fairly steady, and we've shifted the course around and we're ready for race 7.
Do you think that'll be enough to see the Superfoilers get foiling this afternoon, Jack?
I think it'll be touch and go, Nick. I just saw, I think, record point going upwind and they were skimming the surface, so you don't need much. 6 knots is basically the lift-off zone, if you like, but because it is a little bit patchy out here still, you might see a little bit less, and that's where they can drop off the foils and be in that low riding mode. So yeah, it's just it has settled in nicely, so you never know, we might see him flying around.
If Jack was any further on the fence there, Tess, he'd have splinters. Do you think we will see fall time in this race?
Well, pretty interestingly, we haven't got a sea breeze that's developed. We're back to the land breeze around from the north, so totally different conditions to the last race, and very close to the start here. Can see the yellow start committee boat, that white and black checkered mark, and here we go, their final acceleration. Record points going for that port tack approach again. Nice first run start here. Pavement have punched out forward. Tech 2 in that leeward position forward as well.
It's cleared on the leeward side, it's uncleared.
So much going on as they race off the line here. You've got to get the boats up to full speed as quick as you can, and a lot of separation in the fleet, even though it's at early days.
Tech 2 had a race to forget in our opener today. Now we're in the double points landscape. They'll be wanting to hit the hammer and go for it early and put some distance between them and the fleets.
Little swing, little one.
And the skipper gets a lot of feel on the rudder as soon as that pressure hits, and you'll hear them calling for more weight on the wire if they've got anything to work with, so that they're capturing all of the power in the sails. You don't want to let anything fly away from you. You're really harnessing every little bit of power you can.
Which way do we want, downwind? Stand by attack, I think. What do you guys reckon?
Need to in a second.
Strategy crucially important. We see Clean Made there in 4th position at the moment. Incredibly, Euroflex is leading ahead of Pavement, Tech 2, Pavement and ID, with Record Point dragging the chain at the moment. They're in last. It's been a tough day for them in the lighter winds.
Moving forward on the guys to leeward, aren't we? Or?
And you can see that sun reflect on the water. Now the wind's changed direction. It can be really hard to pick the pressure.
I might need you in again now. Nice. Good work. Ready? I think we tack here. 3, 2, 1. Tacking.
Sometimes that reflection on the water can look like there's more wind, and it can be a bit deceptive, so you've really got to know what you're looking for.
And on board. Just lifting all the time here, eh?
And Record Point, you can see how much they've powered up the main. You can see a few creases in the luff there. They've got their Cunningham all the way off. They've got their main trim nice and easy.
Okay, setting up, we'll easily cross now. Okay, here we go.
That was the voice of the Professor of Puff, Nathan Outeridge. This is a great day from these guys already.
Okay, go board up for me, mate.
They snagged a win in the opener, and at the moment they're in the lead in our first double points dose of the day.
Dark Horse has done okay out there.
Dark Horse, meaning Record Point. They took that flyer out to the right, and it looks like they're coming back in a nice position.
It was a great move as it turned out, Tess. They were sitting last, now they're in 3rd and charging through.
Why are we at 9 degrees? Did you press the button? No. It recognises double presses, by the way.
The bowman controls positive and negative lift in the main foils. You can press the button twice and it has double the effect.
I reckon we can go almost down on it, can't we?
Go for it, mate.
Nathan Outeridge, Ian Jensen and Glenn Ashby enjoying some front running at the moment, and even some foil time. These boys are singing on a machine that was in jeopardy of even making any outing on the Busselton waterway. This is a remarkable turn to form here from the Dream Team.
Definitely keep on the bow even, mate.
Really overstood it, eh? So it's quite a big right shift.
You can see how powerful a move it can be to come into that top mark with speed, so you can try and foil around the mark.
Okay, going low, mate. Forward up. Wait, forward, my mate.
And ID have creeped into second here. They've done a good job on that final approach. Clean made in third and Record Point just trying to tack in there now.
And this is the big loser there. It's Pavement. They were at a time in front. Now they're in third position and falling behind.
Okay, standing by. No rush on the boards. Okay, 2, 1, and here we go.
You can see we saw that black and white mark. That's the middle gate they've got to pass through on the downwind. And great popping of the battens there, just like a windsurfer main. You've got to get their full batten mains.
Okay, full rotation here.
So in order to get flow over the sail, that pop out of the jibe's got to happen, and Nathan did a great job of it there.
He's just so calm, Nathan Outeridge. Nothing seems to faze him. He's always so relaxed on board.
Record Point jibed.
And now the last one.
No, we're not.
Great angle here. We can see Olivia Price surveying all behind her. Euroflex is our front runner. How are things going to shake up here? Stick around to find out. Double points on offer here in Busselton for our second race of the day.
Setting up. 2, 1.
And Clean Mate's found her way into third position. It's a nice move from Olivia Price. She's got Euroflex and Pavement in front of her.
And great job of popping the battens on the exit. You really want the boat to glide through the turn in this light breeze, so you make as much runway downwind as possible.
I can really feel your top. Let's see if we can slow her down a little. It's just tough. Yeah, I know.
They're on port here. They're going to have a crossing, I think, with Clean Made, so they're talking about maybe slowing down so they don't have to duck behind. And ID here, not much pressure over the course at all.
Little soft here at the moment. It's currently the long jibe though.
And our series leader, Euroflex, is absolutely finding that out right now. They look around and wonder what next.
We've got full board down there. Are we okay with full board down? We have the board down all the way to leeward. Do we need that, you think?
In this light air, they're really sailing the boat like a displacement hull, so you want to get the board out of the water as much as you can to try and slide and glide sideways, make distance downwind and minimise drag.
That's as high as I can really come with this. It's as high as I can come with this trim when we trim up.
Steve Thomas is a Sydney to Hobart veteran. He'd be used to moments in a race where the wind disappears. You've got to keep your cool, react, and get ready to go again. Be ready when the wind picks up.
There could be a jibe before some of these boats ahead.
They're really good now, yeah. We'll jibe before Parko jives. Will we jibe?
Long-term good pressure where Euroflex is headed, right before it.
It's Will Phillips on the bow.
I've got a good rumble on here, eh?
Let's keep working this boat.
Will and Sam Phillips, they're in the Australian sailing team. They're awesome 49er sailors, and Record Point looking to initiate the jibe back into the middle before the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, I got to defend this one. I don't have that option because I'm slow.
This will be frustrating for Olivia Price. She said she was wanting to sail in a ballsy manner this weekend.
No, I can't because the main stalls.
And there's just not enough puff to propel her.
Main's on the edge of stalling there. Look how stalled CJ's main is. That's why we're going so fast. Shouldn't have said that on camera.
Tech 2 are easing the main a lot further than the other teams, creating more power.
He must be jibing soon if you think we're on lay. Getting closer.
And giving a few of their secrets away in the process as well to all the teams that are surveying and poring over the video footage.
There's more pressure in front of us, Todd. Still quite a bit more pressure in front. Happy to overlay almost.
Talking about their strategy coming into the middle gate.
Okay.
Yep, lane.
And in a game where it's hopscotch, one goes ahead, the other one falls behind. Pavement is now back in the lead and sailing with some distance over Euroflex, some 70-odd metres at the moment. But we can see that evaporate so quickly in these changing West Australian conditions.
Windward board up. So another drive in this still.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
He's matched on I misjudged the lay line.
They're going to have to do another jibe to get through that middle gate. They're not quite on lay here, and manoeuvres can be pretty expensive in this light air, Nick. But look at the position of our bowmans out there. Ian Jensen, we saw Lockie Gilmore on board pavement. He's one of the young 49er sailors, also from Perth, working hard to be one of the top upcoming sailors.
And it looks like Glenn Ashby is also wanting some time on the bow there. He's creeping up to go and join Ian Jensen, who's showing a pretty good demonstration of how to do the splits. Very flexible stuff. As Nathan Outeridge is doing all the work.
Good gains right now.
But patting everyone else on the back, which is sportsmanlike.
Yeah, it's just above neutral, I'd say.
In this light breeze, the skipper's steering, they're doing the balance, they're controlling the main sheet, they've got so much going on.
Driving over. Oh, sorry, say again. Is that... Yeah, I thought you said ley line. I didn't. Yeah, and I misheard. Just it's because you're behind the mast when you said it, so I couldn't really hear.
Oh, not again. We've seen this time and again. Pavement running into trouble. When they're in the lead, all of a sudden, something goes wrong.
Already.
Let's not aim at it then.
Okay, you ready? Yep. 2, 1, here we go.
And pointing their bow towards the stern of the race leader, it's Euroflex. They'll be quick to pounce on this, and they'll be looking to gobble up the bickies once more.
We call it magnetic mark, Nick. If you're not laying the mark and if you try to point the bow down in that direction, you just stop the boat. Just don't worry about it. Don't sail towards it. We want to keep high and keep our speed.
Stand by driving back. Say when?
Yep.
Okay, rolling in.
Time and again, the pavement boys have been foiled by Euroflex. There was a great regatta in Geelong where they looked home and hosed, and twice they fell over at the final hurdle, the Stephen Bradbury, and guess what? It looks like it could happen again.
I'll do jib, Tom.
Yep.
I think, Nick, they're just losing out a little bit by doing too many jibes, too many manoeuvres on the downwind. In this light breeze, you lose a lot of time through the jibe. You really want to extend.
Wait up.
Have some runway to really get your boat speed going. You can see Euroflex, they're coming into the bottom mark with nice pace here because they've had quite a long run at it.
Well, Steve Thomas might have to use some echolocation, summon the dolphins, call in the mermaids. They need a tow, they need some power because Euroflex has closed the gap. 19 seconds now.
Good chance they're going to shorten this.
And Nathan Outeridge has got a sniff of the fact that we might be shortening the racetrack again. He's hopeful. How will that play into his hands? How will that punish pavement?
Getting that leeward hull out, eh? Like, in a big way, you need to get that leeward hull out, yeah. Keep leaning. Wait back, then lock. We can't do it on our own. Oh.
It's good, it's good.
No, we're slow. They're literally going 3 knots quicker than us, Scott.
Yeah, look where they've got their.
Yeah, but let's do a better job than me and you.
So why do you want him back there?
Because we couldn't do it. It was taking us too long. Let's go wait out.
Oh my goodness, it's like being at the traffic lights and the other people have a faster car than your mum and dad, and you let them know about it.
Out of here. I reckon we might lay even. Okay. Yep, you ready?
Stand by, Goose, taking.
The cracks are starting to show. Will pavement crumble or will they paper over them? Tess, Euroflex steaming in right now. This is going to be tense all the way to the line.
I wouldn't count pavement off yet, Nick. They did a nice job creeping up to their line.
Good one when Nath is coming to us in 2.
Even Clean Made, they're only 1 minute behind at that bottom mark. It's not much at all. So one big gust of breeze down the course could change everything.
Little rotation up there.
Yeah, Tech 2 would like to call in a mystery puff, use a bit of home ground advantage there for Parko.
Yeah, you know it.
We know there's more racing coming up as well. Stay tuned. This is our race picture at the moment. Pavement and Euroflex, neck and neck.
We're definitely leeward float out, aren't we? Because it feels draggy. Okay.
Steve Thomas, the skipper on board Pavement, just making a comment there that the boat feels stuck to the water. It feels like there's too much drag. They want to try and get those boards up as far as they can to minimise what's in the water.
How's that jib trim look? Can we take more weight or not?
And such a different level of composure on board our series leader Euroflex. They're practically meditating as Pavement are stressing out.
Right now, we've just slowed for sure.
You want to pull the sails on as tight as you can without stalling them.
Trap harder earlier, sorry, Lock. We're just going to go use our body weights more. Once we're full swing, then you can come.
So much chat about body weight on board, isn't there, Tess?
Yeah, you can see Euroflex have got 3 people back in the boat and Pavement have still got Lockie up on the bow.
Jack, this is a nail-biting finish. What do you make of
I
it?
can take lift out of the dagger board.
Oh, very light and tricky conditions. I think Record Point had the biggest loss down that run. Everyone else stayed in basically the positions they went around the top mark in, but Pavement doing a lovely job out in the lead.
Pavement doing a lovely job, but Euroflex making them sweat.
Yeah, I know, but we've got heaps to burn. I think you're overcompensating at the moment. Just let me...
I'm just trying to keep up with what you want.
Yeah, just stay settled for a minute. It's just really jumpy and feel it throwing us around a bit. That's it. Nice and smooth.
In this light air, you really need to just level it out.
We're always taking a bit more weight, maybe.
It's got clean made on our
Copy. It's generally always looking to sail a little flatter.
You can see the difference in modes. Pavement sailing a little bit higher, Euroflex a bit more bow down.
Yeah, otherwise we're tacking through it. Which also isn't the end of the world.
Not quite making the middle gate. They're going to have to do 2 tacks to step it up to get on that ley line.
Copy, I'll stay pressing on it. Negative. I think high is better, Lock. There's definitely less pressure straight ahead of us.
Steve liking that high mode.
The marks. Don't you reckon?
Tess, Pavement doing such a good job of keeping our series leader at bay.
Yeah.
And this is ID, they're in 4th.
Okay, I'm going to sit still, right? So can you do a bit more movement? It's driving badly because I'm doing all the weight.
They'll probably finish us on the downwind then, guys.
CJ asking for some more backup from the main sheet with the balance.
Yeah. We've got good comms, so let's just keep it moving.
Cleanmate closing the gap. They're within 90 metres of the lead now.
Yeah, Cleanmate's faster and higher.
I think Euroflex might cross though.
Oh, hold it.
Cleanmate also working that inside lane. They like that high pressure and it does seem to be lifting them up this beat.
Agreed.
Pavement will feel like they have a target on their back at the moment. Euroflex is coming for them, so too Cleanmate. Steve Thomas has been excellent this weekend already. He's chalked up a win and he'll want another on home waters.
Could be your weight out here on this one, Lock. Starting to get to our limits here.
You do your boards, Lock, come back. Yep.
Okay, stand by.
Steve's got family, friends and mermaids cheering him on. And so far, so good, Tess. Euroflex at bay.
Yeah, Pavement's doing a good job of covering here. You can see the crew move in front of the mast through the tack to try and keep the weight forward. Pavement have got a loose cover on board Euroflex. They've got separation, that distance to windward, but they are a little bit behind the bow line.
It's actually quite a nice puff on Parko. Quite a nice left shift coming here, I'd say. So we might need to start trimming things in a bit more again.
Phil Robertson seems to think there are a couple of good breezes out there that could be advantageous for these back markers.
How are we going on CJ?
Tech 2 have just passed through the middle gate.
Speed up and go behind them?
Yep.
You can hear the torque relative to other boats. What's their speed like?
Ribbons, mate. Wait in a little.
Yep.
You just get the feeling one gust could change things.
Standing by. 2, 1, and here we go.
setting up for attack. There's no rush through the manoeuvres. You want to try and use your speed into the turn to make a bit of distance upwind and then rebuild out of the tack.
Very calm from Euroflex there.
That's better. Stand by tack.
Our race leader at the moment is Pavement. It's a great position for them to be in, especially impressive considering Steve Thomas has got 2 new men on board for this regatta, giving Dan Morris and Reese Mara are both overseas sailing. You wouldn't know it to look at it.
Which is the right way. I think we've got to go with them. Need a bit more weight here, I think, Googs.
Pavement came in for the left mark as well, but they did do attack and bear away, which might hurt them here. If Euroflex come in with pace, they've got a nice runway to the ley line, which means they can build speed into the mark rounding. They're going for the 4 boards down, so they're going to try and foil on the exit of this turn. See if there's enough pressure to get them flying, get that middle hull up and out of the water.
Nice. Just a bit of dirty there.
And Cleanmate also coming in on a port lay to the top left. They're going to tack and bear away.
Happy to comfortable tack.
Keep it wide.
Euroflex turn 30 seconds later than Pavement, so they're going to have to try and close that down. And we can see on the foils, they're closing gauge very quickly here.
Pavement need to heat it up.
Oh, that's got to be one of the sorest sights in world sailing, seeing the master come steaming past you.
Stand by.
Be a jibe when we get to ley line here, okay? They've jibed now.
And a 30-second deficit looks to be about the same lead now, Tess.
Yeah, I think Pavement have made a good decision to jibe out early there. They couldn't make it up to Euroflex's lane, so jibing out and searching for a new pressure line.
For a bit, let's try it.
2, 1, and jibing.
Such a decisive moment in this, our first double points race, and it's Euroflex that looks to have made the master move at this moment in time.
Pull the jib out.
The Pavement's still very much in this.
And this board up when you can, Glenn.
And let's not rule out Cleanmate either. Interesting to see Glenn Ashby lifting the foils up there with Ian Jensen on the bow.
That's going to be enough to get us nice ahead of them at the moment.
Jack, can you believe what you're seeing?
That was amazing by Euroflex. They mastered the light air foiling. They've 4-point foiling in no more than 5 or 6 knots. That's incredible stuff. So they, caught up 200 metres and overtook Pavement there. So great sailing.
Definitely.
This is a shortened course. They will finish at the start-finish gate behind me now. I've just heard over the race officer's radio. So this is to the finish and it's going to be very close.
Thanks, Jack. A downwind finish. This will probably suit Euroflex.
Yeah, he's got us. We're just conceding second here, guys.
Are we going the bottom and then up?
No, finish at the finish.
Pavement, they're happy to consolidate second place. They've had a top race. They were right up in that battle for first, so second's still a good result.
There you go, boys. Nice work at the top there.
Euroflex punching through when it counted on a squirt.
Nice one, mate. Come on, goods.
And you can't help but feel for Steve. Still a great result for them.
I reckon we should do this.
I'll tell you what, I'm such on the knife edge.
Do you think when we went for it, there was actually less pressure, so we wouldn't have got it?
Well, I think he got it because he came into the top mark, not without a tack set.
Yeah.
So he could bear away into it.
Sounds like it was that run line into the top that just gave Euroflex that edge.
There's just a couple of waves here knocking us around. Yeah, can take your flatten. Coming up a little.
And this is Olivia Price. She continues her stellar run here in Western Australia. She's got third now.
Funky waves on the bow. I've got to come up and keep my speed on.
And she's making it look funky monkey out there.
I know, but I'm happy. Like, I'm not losing anything to anyone here.
They're happy just to hold on to third place. They've sailed so consistently.
This is just a race, like a positioning thing.
Just protecting their position, not playing the wind anymore. They're happy just to run through this line.
Olivia said in her conversation with Jack that this was clean-made conditions out here in Western Australia. She's made them her own, and it's another podium finish, this time with double points on the line.
Nice one. Good race.
Happy to get that one in the bank.
Nice
Interesting
one.
to see the high five hierarchy. Jack, you're with the man who's pulled off an upset.
That was some performance down that last run. There couldn't have been more than 5 or 6 knots in your 4-point foiling.
Yeah, we got a little puff just as we bore away, and it was a massive discussion what we're going to do. And obviously, hindsight says we got the right call there. And they're so tricky to get foiling in that light air, and there's a lot of body weight movement and a bit of button playing. And we saw Steve try to match us, but I don't think he had the same pressure, and that gave us our little passing lane there.
How do you do it? What sort of technique and teamwork have you got to do to get the boat up and foiling in this light air?
I don't know, boys. How do we manage that one? Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Thanks, Nathan.
All right, thanks, Jack.
Well, I don't think they're lucky. I think they're supremely good, those guys. 24 World Championships as we see the battle for 4th.
Stand by, shooting.
Bollocks. Right, not get frustrated.
That's going to sting Paul Campbell-James, who will have to settle for 5th there behind Tech 2. But it's the Euroflex show. They've somehow managed to scoop the first 2 races to stay in contention overall. The race of the day almost belonged to Steve Thomas on pavement.
Steve Thomas, that was a bit of bad luck, mate. You sailed a great race.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame at the top there to not be able to foil and Nathan roll us, but yeah, it's racing.
Excellent job on the beat, and then it just looks like they've got that little click that everyone else is looking for in getting up and foiling in this light air.
Yeah, possibly. I think it was a bit of fortune to them having the runway into the top mark and just being able to round the top mark with speed. We had to tack on the mark, so they had a better chance of actually being able to foil downwind.
Good luck for this one, mate. Keep it up.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Well, he'll be fighting all the way to a podium here, Steve Thomas, as we see Tech 2, clean maiden pavement, 2 points separating our top 3, 1 point separating 4th and 5th, and Euroflex still a mathematical possibility at landing on the podium. We'll find out if they get there on the other side of this. Amongst all the hustle and bustle in Western Australia, they say it's just another day in WA. And while our teams work through the night and certainly enjoy savouring a full moon, the work continues for a long time to come, and the sailors are absolutely loving it.
This series has definitely lived up to my expectations. You know, there's 6 boats, they're all foiling off the start line, they're all close action. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's great for TV, it's great to do. Everyone comes in with smiles on their faces, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Definitely, this series has been beyond what I could have ever imagined. I thought I was initially going to be quite scared of the boats, but I've had the most fun sailing I have in a long time. Harry and Josh have been the best crews that we could have asked for. So, we work really well as a team, and we're always trying to have fun. I said to the boys, I need a bit more balls, so hopefully you'll see some big things from us.
Look, the sailing's just got better and better, and I think at first there's probably quite a lot of us sailors a little bit sceptical about it all and about the design and the shape, but now we're sort of figuring out how to sail it properly. We're just having the time of our lives, so we're loving it.
This series, it's developing so quickly and everyone's learning, and the way that everyone's sailing these boats now, I think we're not even close to their potential, honestly, and the closer we can get to a fraction more of that, you'll just blow everyone out of the water.
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable. The series so far, we've had 3 good events in really varied conditions. The teams are getting better and better at every event. We saw in the Gold Coast, racing was much closer than it'd been, say, in Geelong and in Adelaide.
Everyone's getting there. Nathan's a super talented sailor, and not only that, he's got 2 of the best crew you could have in the world right next to him. So they're a hard boat to beat, that's for sure, but it's raised the bar of everyone else really quickly. So yeah, everyone knows it's there and ready. So yeah, he better be on his toes come Sydney.
Well, he's already had to have been on his toes so far, and the challenge continues for the next of our double point races for Euroflex.
Little jibbies. Goobs, little jibbies.
What's that?
Jibbies. How long now?
Just be careful, I might need you to go bow down.
Euroflex are the most windward boat. They're right up near the start line.
Yeah, talk to me about the line, Haz.
Clean mates bow forward.
Yeah, we can. Jib on, you get your jib.
We're racing, Tor.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Big acceleration needed off the start.
Record point.
Wait up.
2 tacks here, boys.
Okay, ready? Tacking, 2 tacks. Big main on. Ready to go back.
Paul Campbell-James and Phil Robertson, they're both getting a little overzealous at the start line. They'll be punished to the full extent, and Clean Mate is going to be the one scooping up the spoils.
I did not want to go when they were going.
Good call on their acceleration off the line.
Why do we have a board down?
Well, not everything going quite how Olivia Price would like it. The London Olympic silver medalist quick to remind Josh McKnight that things need tinkering there. They're ahead though.
Yep, a little east to me.
Really light conditions.
Hey, body weight, are we okay?
Looks like Tech 2 and Euroflex Tess are in a nice little battle here.
Yeah, we've seen the pressure come from the right, Nick, for most of the races today, and it looks like that inside lane works. They get that nice high mode and can lift up and close gauge on the top mark.
It's been a superb regatta for Olivia Price and Clean Mate. They're still searching for their first win of the Superfoiler series. They've been close all weekend. Maybe today is the day for them.
Yeah, it's all out. Just a little less aggressive, Tor.
Smoothness in the boat's just critical in this light air. You don't have much to work with, so you've got to be really gentle and on field with your sail trim.
Yeah, copy.
Olivia Price front running at the moment. Pavement having a few hiccups there.
Big low.
Okay, they're lifted now.
Currently on lay. Wait up, please.
And Record Point has found out just what
Here we go.
it's like to get over the line, and they're going to be punished for that. They're in last position alongside ID, some 60 metres behind the front runners, Clean Mate.
And as the group tack over onto port towards those top marks, Clean Mate's maintaining that inside lane. They've had good speed here. It seems like that inside position's really working. They get the pressure band first.
And then give some dirty air for their chasers as well. It's great manoeuvring.
I think we need body weight to sail faster mode. You want to go right, Mark?
Putting the bow down powers the boat up, so you've got to commit more weight to hold that.
Which way downwind, Sam?
Well, Tech 2, they're leading the regatta here in Western Australia. They're on top. A win for them in double points will seal the top step of the podium at a home regatta for Luke Parkinson.
Okay, definitely don't have rights here. Copy.
So Clean Mate have got no overlap with Tech 2. Tech 2's got no overlap on Euroflex coming into the top gate.
Tack bear weight, 4 boards.
No overlap! No overlap!
So Euroflex have got all rights coming into the top.
Ready?
With that puff and shift, eh? Copy. Okay, easing up everything.
They're going to be a protest. I'm going to go around the outside of them.
Go board.
And Tech 2 are sending it in there.
Nice.
This could be a penalty.
Dump jib.
Clean Mate playing it safe. They've just gone around cleanly.
Pull that jib sheet.
Well, Tess, amongst all that, somehow Record Point managed to split. They've gone the other way, and they've got a buffer. They were in last, they're now in first, with Tech 2 and Euroflex Clean Mate behind them. It was a great move from Phil Robertson.
Okay, tacking. 2, 1, go. You guys need to stop!
And Paul Campbell-James needs to stop and take count of a weekend that's been tricky for him so far, Tess.
Yeah, the wake from the camera boat there providing a bit of backwash, which is hard for these guys, throwing them around in the light air, and you can see just how light the wind is. The hulls are sitting down in the water. You've got max crew weight forward, the skipper moving in and out, trying to control the balance, the sail trim.
It's tough work out there for everyone involved.
They're half board,
and there's more hard work coming.
Lifting me into the... Yeah.
It's a home regatta for Steve Thomas on board Pavement. He's a Perth product and he's sailing well on home shores. He's in the lead ahead of another Perth boy, the outright leader of this regatta, Tech 2, in Luke Parkinson.
Not sure which turn, but I think left turn again, Steve. Copy.
You can see the little wool tufts on the main. They're called telltales, and they give an indicator to how the sails should be set through the main sheet and the traveller trim.
Yeah, don't run.
A reminder from Olivia Price about managing weight on board.
Rolling in.
You would expect in these light wind conditions that will favour the lighter boats in terms of crew weight. But another interesting DEXA insight is actually the dominant breakdown of weight and power across the bodies of the sailors. Steve Thomas has his left hand on the tiller now. He favours his right hand and right leg in every move, so he's a little off balance at the moment.
Left turn will have him. Got wet, devastating.
Good to hear a little joke on board there. I think these guys would be pretty hot out there and the steamer's nick, so a little splash wouldn't be the worst thing.
I think we drive on Stevie here. What do you reckon, guys?
Oh, a bit of 2-on-2 match racing here.
Go board up.
Opting for the cover slam.
One. Drive me.
And the two locals exchanging blows there. We see Luke Parkinson opting for the yellow trim on his steamer. I believe it was a recommendation from his mum. And obviously she didn't check the forecast because it is smoking hot out there.
Yeah, Nick, she was worried about having enough protective gear, but in this breeze, there's more worry for the sailors suffering from dehydration than anything else.
Traveller, my jib. Yep.
And as they round the bottom mark, there's still a lot of mechanics to do on board, lifting up the windward foil, getting that main sheet centred, the traveller on, the jib on, a bit of crew weight up.
Copy.
And Aidan Menzies in the middle, sheeting that main on.
Okay. I think she'll get a piece. And we're going to have to go around the outside here.
Super close, coming into the bottom mark. Clean Maid coming in on port, but they are on the inside here. Super close to Euroflex.
Tess, this is going to be tight. There's not much real estate at all here. They could actually bump and hit those flotations if they're not careful.
And Clean Maid has rights. They're on the inside.
Protest!
Nicest protest ever there.
Good trap. But they're allowed to hit the mark.
Penalty Euroflex.
Penalty on us.
4-4.
Because they hit the mark. But you're allowed to hit the mark. It's a stupid rule. Chip on. Okay.
You're allowed to hit the marks, yeah?
You're allowed to hit the marks. We gave them heaps of room. That's bull.
Very close call, but it looked to me like Euroflex did give Clean Maid enough room to round inside, so I can understand that frustration.
Yeah, just need a little bit of body weight once we get some flow.
I think it had something to do with how polite Olivia Price was there, almost apologising while calling a protest there. You don't see that. What you do see is Pavement dropping it as fast as they can here. A 7-second buffer over Tech 2.
Yeah, we just lifted.
They're our race leader at the moment, still gunning for the podium.
We'll just wave them down.
Media, penalty on Euroflex, did not provide sufficient mark room to Clean Maid to sail a proper course around the mark.
And there's the explainer as to why exactly that went down. Not enough mark room there, Tess, as you predicted.
Yeah, very marginal situation, especially in the light air. Can see it looks like ID have got some pace out to the left. What a great shot there.
Almost like ballerinas there. Absolute beautiful poise there. It looks like Glenn's getting the nutcracker from Tchaikovsky going on there as we see some tiptoeing on ID. Superb poise and control here from the sailors.
Dark Horse would have had us on the other mark. Where do we want to make our tack here? We're suffering a bit, aren't we?
Yeah, we are a bit, but we'd be suffering the other way too. I don't think we're actually not laying there.
Yeah, copy that.
Glenn Ashby very vocal there, explaining his thoughts there, Tess.
Yeah, look, it's not easy for any of these teams out there. These guys are used to ripping and just sending these boats around the course, so it's a real patience game. A lot of concentration required in the light air. It's not physically demanding.
Oh dear, we could have another moment in the race for Pavement.
Wait up.
Goes that way. Goes that way.
The sailing gods have been against them, and all of a sudden we've got spectator craft cluttering their runway. Oh goodness me, these boys need to go out and buy a lotto ticket because it's got to change soon. Everything seems to be against those guys.
Pavement is bow and bow right now.
What are we thinking?
I'm feeling they're going to short the course right here and we're going to finish the race now.
Hayden Menzies calling the potential for a shortened
How long
course
have they been
here.
racing for?
Will that play into their hands? Will that punish Pavement yet again?
Yeah.
Heavily dark, don't go away.
Good pressure, lift the pressure regardless, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, massive righty. Okay, we're behind. Should we attack and wait in? Wait forward.
This is going to play out in Tech 2's favour. Being the inside boat, the wind's gone right, so they're going to lift up on this tack and gain lateral distance on the inside. But Pavement's still showing to be holding the lead, but you know, the fleet is very separated laterally across the course for this light air, and there's not much in it between first and sixth, Nick.
Yeah.
So
Are we not crossing? Okay, bow's coming down. We're just going to go jib outboard.
Oh, for record point, it's a nice fight back there too.
Easy jib. Sam, easy jib.
From 6th to 4th at the moment.
He's really stopped.
Yep, just smooth, real smooth. I know.
Tech 2 in the lead though, Tess. They have gone past.
Great manoeuvre, boys.
Get ready for weight here, Aiden.
And I can't help but wonder if that was a great puff pick there from Tech 2 or if it was Pavement getting punished with a bit more bad luck. It's going to be a tough one to swallow as we see more theatrical body weight outside the boat there. That is shades of synchronised diving there. Superb. Wonderful stuff. The boys on Euroflex putting on a show. They're in 5th. Expect for them
How they can be triple stringing and we can barely be one stringing.
to come back bigger and better after this. The racing continues. Tech 2 is ahead. Double points on the line for the home hopeful.
Yeah, but two of them out moving. The two above us are. That's good, Goobs. I think happy with that.
Copy. So they dared over my shoulder, eh?
Stevie is. Yeah.
everyone's looking for the pressure.
Keep your weight forward now.
It's hard to find at the moment. There's not much across the course.
Helms just straight, just got to find speed.
Pavement were in the lead. They're sliding further adrift from first to third, just like that.
Do the same at the trap.
And if they can fall behind that quickly, they can climb back that quickly. But Luke Parkinson, Aidan Menzies and Sam Newton on Tech 2 will be determined that they don't let them.
Can't see the mark. You want to talk to me?
You've got the jib in your hand.
Rounding the top mark.
Bearing away. Got the mark. And wait forward and
Great
do it,
fortune there from Tech 2, but Jack Pavement can't take a trick.
Terrible luck for Pavement. They sailed out onto the edge of the racetrack and fell in a hole, and they've gone from second to last. It's really bad luck because they were doing such a good job. But Tech 2 picked the shift, tacked, and around the top mark, clear leader, and in a very strong position to put a stranglehold on this event.
Thanks for the update, Jack.
I think we just jibe. We go down the course, right? After record point, we're jibing.
Opting for the strategy to stay close to the rum line, close to the middle of the course so that they're not risking either side. They're protecting their leading position, and on board ID, they're on the upwind. Record Point coming in on a ley line towards the top.
Copy.
Euroflex slightly behind Record Point, also not far off a ley line. And here's Clean Made's approach. Looking to round the left mark at the top. They'll most likely tack and bear away.
Yeah.
The sheet. I'll get it. Okay, get it.
Not much wind out there at the moment. It's hard going.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Trying to stay cool, calm and collected.
You can see they've got a bit of a tangle in the Traveller, so it's not going all the way down to leeward. Just getting that knot out of the line there.
Really lifted over there.
You can see how accurately these teams have got to work their weight. They're controlling the heel angle of the boat. There's no lift in the foils, so it's all in their weight control.
Design here, leeward heel if we can. Olivia, we got room on you here.
No way. We've tacked.
We got rods on Olivia.
I don't have room on them. You don't have room on anyone.
We do.
Protest.
Protest. Ease the main. We've got to go.
Another mark, another protest there.
Just going to go around. Go board down. Protest, Olivia.
Hey! Don't have a big crash here, boys.
We're okay. Where's the umpire?
I'm sure the insurance company will love that one. Phil would just say, I told them not to have a big one and whatever.
Let's watch it on our rudder.
What's going to be the wash-up?
Olivia.
Penalty Euroflex.
You're kidding me.
How can we duck?
She didn't let us duck him.
Olivia ducked on their stern. How can we duck?
Protest. Clean Made. We had an overlap and they didn't let us through. Jobbing over here in a sec. Just go.
I couldn't quite see from our perspective, but Euroflex believed they had an overlap on the inside.
Yeah, swing hard.
Superfoilers, the race has been shortened to the mid-gate, going downwind.
The race has been shortened.
Yeah, the race has been shortened and so too Nathan Outeridge's temper. He'll have something to say about that. He's not going to lie down for that one.
The heel and try and get that jib out good.
Go on, he's still in front of Olivia. He fouled her as well.
Olivia was in the wrong though.
Oh, everything's happening with pretty slow pace out here, but there was a bit of a controversy on who had the overlap.
Oh, let's finish first. They screwed us. We may as well screw the system. It is ridiculous. Like, that's not even, like, you know, we were a victim of the system, and now we just robbed the system. This is why we should have a lower wind limit.
If anyone needs to cook the books, just go to Luke Parkinson. He's got an answer and a way round everything, and at the moment, he is in the lead here.
Doing a whopping 3.6 knots at the barn door.
There is no minimum wind limit for these boats, and I think the sailors want to go quick, but it's a mindset, it's a mental game in this light air. So
I think we'll lay down easily. Pavement's my concern.
Well, in such a condensed field, there are concerns absolutely everywhere.
Really slow, like soft here, because we're only doing 3.
slow speeds, but they are on that run to the finish. Record Point maintaining a lead over Euroflex. They're on the same line and they're on that last run to the finish as well.
You're not worried about guys rolling us?
Nathan seems very concerned about what's behind him as well.
I mean ID.
ID must be coming around that mark with a bit of pace. They've got a bit of leverage on the inside, but pavement on a much lower angle rolling over the top of both Record Point and Euroflex as we see Tech 2. That's our finish marker, the black and white checkered mark. They're about to cross that finish line at top speeds, Nick.
Well, that's teamwork, Tess. Look at that. That was
nice, lad.
Getting cosy on the bow.
Should not be racing,
though. No.
Stevie was so far behind them. He should drift it faster.
We need Clean Made to come last here. The heavyweights.
And Luke Parkinson thinking about the calculations for how it's going to pan out across the regatta. He's eyeing off the top of the podium here, the win in Busselton, and he wants Clean Made towards the back of the pack to help him achieve that.
Soaking, yeah, here we go, soaking now.
so difficult to control your mode when you're so close to other boats, and we've seen ID, Euroflex and Record Point, they're so close together here. They'll be taking each other's wind away.
Protest. Mate, you came in pretty close.
Paul Campbell-James calling protest there. He's got something he's not happy about with regards to Euroflex. Another penalty, perhaps heading the series leader's way.
You're kidding. Mate, we didn't get anywhere near him. That's the most call I've ever heard.
Nope, it's gone the other way.
Absolute bull.
Penalty ID.
Penalty ID. Penalty retarded. That's the worst call I've ever heard. It's green or it's them. Leave the budge, leave the budge.
Yeah, probably leave Paul Campbell-James alone as well for a while. He's absolutely steaming. I think I actually saw fire coming out of his ears there, blowing up as we see pavement close in. Well, it's been a penalty fest, Tess.
Yeah, I think the sailors need to have a swim in this beautiful water and just clear their heads maybe before we have a chat with them. And Pavement are through the finish line there, and Clean Made very close behind. So Pavement finishing in second place.
Pump through.
That'll be enough to get them on the podium, and Clean Made's behind them.
Good count. Bunch of thirds, boys.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it was my fault that Nathan got caught in there.
Well, you might not understand that now, Olivia, but I'm sure an explanation's not far behind. It's coming very soon as we see the top three for the regatta taking out the top three places, and Euroflex, after a penalty-filled run there, is making their way to the line in a battle with ID to take out fourth.
Yeah, agree. Soaking. Gunning.
Well, excuse me. Phil Robertson's actually taken out fourth position there.
Oh, far out. It is hot. Nice work, boys.
Frustrating conditions on board. It's just so hard to predict what's going to happen in this light air and just to stay calm because so much is out of your control.
And Euroflex is going to get on top of ID.
Umpire boat, this is Euroflex. Can you come alongside for a chat, please?
That's Nathan Outeridge, Olympic gold medalist, Olympic silver medalist, America's Cup skipper, and the helm of Euroflex. He's got a lot of experience. I wonder how much experience he has chewing out umpires, because get the fork out, get the knife out, it's coming.
Hope you're not taking it too seriously, Nathan.
No, we're just getting dicked around by the umpires.
A great little call there from Sam Newton saying just to calm things down.
Why wouldn't Sam get involved there? It's the spoils of victory for Tech 2. They finish on top of race 8, ahead of Pavement and Clean Made, the top three taking out the podium, and Jack McCartney is with the man in 5th.
No, that was a tough race. What was going on?
Just getting a bit belted around by some other boats. Didn't quite give Olivia enough room mark at that bottom mark, and had a pretty bad call in from the umpires at the finish, at the top mark there.
Frustrating after getting the one at the bottom, and then you got yourself right back into it as you always do at the top, and then another penalty.
Yeah, and had a chat to the umpires afterwards, and he's actually admitted fault. He said that had he had actually seen it from a different angle, he would have given Clean Made the penalty. But you know, there's nothing we can do about that, and it's actually really disappointing because it's basically given us no chance of making the podium now.
I feel your pain, mate, but you're sailing really well. Good luck.
All right, cheers, Jack.
Euroflex will come in hard at the Express Superfoiler Grand Final in Sydney, but we look at how it panned out. A regatta champion, someone other than Euroflex with the spoils. It's Tech 2, Pavement and Clean Made, and Jack is with our regatta winner.
It is the Tech 2 for their first triumph. The mighty Tech 2 team, well done. Tell us how you're feeling, Luke.
We're stoked. You know, we put together a good weekend with a whole range of conditions, so you know, we're looking forward, pretty positive moving forward.
Aidan, how you feeling, mate?
Yeah, it's really great to finally, you know, get a result that we're quite proud of. You know, the sponsor's been fantastic in Tech 2, and Glenn and his team have really supported us. So to give them something back, and just the boys beside me, you know, they've done really, really well, and we've stuck together and, yeah, put it together finally, so it's awesome.
Sam, you've been getting some raps in the commentary team today for your excellent effort on the bow. How are you going?
It's good to beat the Euroflex today. Finally put those guys back in the pack in a decent race. So, yeah, no, it was a good day.
It's all smiles. Glenn Powers, the winning sponsor here on the boat and coach. How does it feel?
Mate, we just pumped. The whole company's been watching today. I'm getting text messages as they watch the streaming, and we're just delighted the boys put the plan together. Parker said he'd win it in that last race, and he did.
Oh, well done, Tech 2. So the celebrations are over to you.
Terrific. Tech 2 ignite the challenge on our road to the Express Superfoiler Grand Final in Sydney. That result sees them soar up the leaderboard. They're on 17 points, 2 points behind our series leader Euroflex. Pavement's 1 point behind them with Record Point on 12 and ID in 11, Cleanmate in 10. That means we've got all 6 Superfoilers in podium contention and the top 5 all with the shot at grabbing the Ben Lexon Trophy. That's all from us in Busselton. On behalf of Tessa, Jack and myself, thanks for your company. We'll see you next time.